And welcome back to the Daily Sip, where your daily dose of Mississippi stories and people and places. And we're in one of the places today. We're at the Grand Gulf Power Station, the nuclear station just outside of Port Gibson down in Claiborne County. I'm Walt Grayson. We're going to be talking about nuclear power and take a little tour of the nuclear station. This is the 40th anniversary of the opening of Grand Gulf. Now, I got my friend with me here, Robert Mitchell. Robert, you are a shift manager, and we were discussing exactly what that meant, except you manage your shift.
Yes, sir. So I work in operations, and so basically we have shifts that run the nuclear plant 24/7, 12 hours at a time, and I'm the manager of one of those shifts in the control room.
How long have you been here, Robert?
I've been here 13 years.
What prompted you to want to come to work at a nuclear power plant?
Well, I got to a point in life where I was a teacher before, and I was teaching physics, and I've always been interested in this kind of stuff. I met some people that were working for Entergy, and they got me connected down here, and it just was a natural fit for me to come down here and work.
You've been here 13 years. Obviously, you must love it.
I do love it. The people here are great, and it's really nice to be able to work at a place that provides safe, clean, and efficient energy for our residents in Mississippi.
Well, that's one of the significance of this power plant. A lot of people don't even know this is here. Most of us do, but a lot don't. Real quick, can you tell me the significance and what it means to Mississippi to have this nuclear plant in our state?
Well, it means a lot of things for Mississippi. So one thing is that we employ over 700 people in the state of Mississippi here at Grand Gulf with really great jobs. And this one reactor, this one site, can provide electricity for over 800,000 homes in our state.
Biggest reactor in the United States, is it not?
It is the largest reactor in North America and one of the top 10 largest reactors in the entire world. So down here in Claiborne County.
And we got to take a tour of it today. We didn't go into the actual control room because they know how I am about wanting to touch buttons, but we went into the simulator. Take a look at this. We're in the simulator control room at Grand Gulf Nuclear Station, and you know it's the simulator control room because I'm in here. You think I'm going to turn me loose in something that a nuclear reactor would be really attached to? Billy Newman's with us. Billy, tell us about this area right here.
Sure. This is the simulator, like you said. It is an exact replica of our main control room, down to the colors, the design, everything. So it's designed to allow our operators to go through their training period, and they go through initial license training, which takes 18 months to get fully qualified to be a licensed reactor operator or a senior reactor operator. And then every 5 weeks, every 5th week they work, they come back to training and re-qualify on being able to maintain their license.
So this is not just for show. This is a working, although it's the simulator, this is a working control room.
That's correct. That's correct. Everything in here is modeled to operate exactly like the real plant.
Okay. And you were showing me the red lights over here. This is where the control rods are, and the red lights mean that they're doing what?
That's right. So if a red light is on representing each control rod in our core, that red light tells you that that control rod is fully withdrawn.
Okay.
So,
and that means the reactor is fully working then?
That means the reactor is in operation.
Okay.
Correct.
And then what if you had an emergency all of a sudden and somebody said, hey, we got to shut this sucker down? What do you do?
Sure. So the reactor is designed to automatically shut down if parameters require it, but our operators are trained to be monitoring those parameters, and if conditions exist that would lead to an automatic reactor shutdown, they're trained to take manual control and shut the reactor down manually using the reactor mode switch located at the bottom of the panel.
Yeah, this you would think, or I would think anyway, that you'd have to go through like 1,000 steps to shut down a nuclear reactor, but this is like a car switch over here. You go on, off. I'm sure that it's doing 1,000 steps when you flip it to off, but that solves a whole lot of problems and a lot of headaches, I would imagine.
Absolutely. They can take that switch from run to shut down. All of the control rods will fully insert in just a matter of seconds, shut the reactor down to where there's no more fission occurring, and then the 3 reactor operators will take actions to ensure that the plant is responding appropriately so that the reactor stays in a safe shutdown condition.
Yeah. Have you ever had to shut it down before?
Sure.
On an emergency basis, or just, I know you shut it down to refuel it and things like that.
It depends on what you would consider emergency. There are conditions that would require more attention than just a shutdown for a refuel. Yeah. If a piece of equipment that's required to sustain steady operation were to trip or go out of service unexpectedly, then that would be more of an emergent condition where they would place the mode switch and shut down.
A couple of conditions that would pop up that would necessitate shutting down the reactor. One of those, of course, is refueling the reactor. You have to shut it down to do that. But also, if anything, any of these lights or buzzers or meters or anything, if they get out of parameter to a certain degree, it's best to shut the reactor down just for safety's sake. And it's not nearly as complicated as I thought it would be. You simply turn the reactor off. Of course, all the alarms go off to let you know you did something. Now, as simple as that is, that would shut down the reactor, and it took, what, 2 seconds to do it. Bringing it back up takes about 5 days.
When they shut it down, they're operating and maintaining it in a safe shutdown condition and monitoring our parameters that keep the reactor in a safe shutdown condition, keep it cooled and depressurized.
Okay. And I'm impressed by the amount of equipment in here. Just kind of pan around the room, Leon. All of this stuff in here, all these lights, all these buzzers, all these meters, all these things right here, just so you can watch the Daily Sip at 3:30 on Channel 12.